Shabbat Shalom, everyone. It's so good to have those joining us in person and online for our service. Welcome, Steve. Good to see you. We have this morning the opportunity for prayer, for study, to be together as a community in this space, and that alone, I hope, is source for goodness for us, that we can come together and support each other. Ma tovu ohalecha Yaakov, mishkenotecha Yisrael. How good are your tents, O Jacob, your dwelling places, O Israel. Page 74.
Ma tovu ohalecha Yaakov, ohalecha Yaakov, mishkenotecha
Things about being together for Shabbat morning services is to have the opportunity to engage in this spiritual practice together of making this our center, making this our core. And so we think of ourselves physically and we think of ourselves spiritually. There's a deep connection here. You might want to take a second to adjust in your seat, to make sure you're comfortable, to pay attention to the way that your body is positioned, and to be able to find a moment here to relax. And then when you do, you can take a deep breath. You can let that nishima, that breath, come in, and know that that connection between your body that sustains the ability to breathe and your breath, which is a part of your soul, is strong. And then as we do so, to give thanks for that breath that comes into us this morning, that new life. We continue Elohai, page 78.
שנתת בי טהורה היא. אתה בראת, אתה יצרת, אתה נפחת בי, ואתה משמרה בקרבי.
To be able to be together today to offer our praises to God. Mizmor Shir LeYom HaShabbat, a special psalm for Shabbat, page 96.
מזמור שיר ליום השבת, טוב להודות לאדוני, ולזמר לשמך עליון, ולזמר לשמך עליון. מזמור שיר ליום השבת, טוב להודות לאדוני, ולזמר לשמך עליון, ולזמר לשמך עליון. להגיד בבוקר חסדך, ואמונתך בלילות, עלי אסור ועלי נבל, עלי היגיון וכינור. מזמור שיר ליום השבת, טוב להודות לאדוני, ולזמר לשמך עליון, ולזמר לשמך עליון. כי שימחתני אדוני בפועלך, במעשה ידיך ארנה. מה גדול מעשיך אדוני, מאוד עמקו מחשבותיך. מזמור שיר ליום השבת, טוב להודות לאדוני, ולזמר לשמך עליון, ולזמר לשמך עליון.
Magalu ma'asecha Adonai, how great are all of your creations, and all of them kol hanshama, everything that breathes, should bless your name. We continue Psalm 150 on page 100 in our prayer books. We use all our instruments. Here we go. Janet says,
כל הנשמה תהללויה,
Hallelujah, hallelujah.
כל הנשמה תהללויה,
Hallelujah, hallelujah.
הללו אל בקודשו, הללו בקיראותו, הללו בגבורותיו, הללו קרוב כולו. כל הנשמה תהללויה, הללויה, הללויה.
Chatzi Kaddish, page 106.
יתגדל ויתקדש שמי רבה, מעמד יברח חירותי, וימליך מלכותי, בחייכון וביומכון ובחיי תכל בית ישראל. בגלה, בגלה, ובזמן קריב ואמרו אמן. יהי שמי רבה מבורך, לעולם כולו מעלמיה יתברך. יתברך וישתבח, ויתפאר ויתרומם ויתנשא, ויתהדר ויתעלה ויתעלה, שמי לקודשם יברכו. לעילה מן כל ברכתה ושירתה, תושבחתה ונחמתה, תאמירן בעלמה ואמרו אמן.
We rise for the call to worship the Baruch Hu, page 108.
Yai, lai, lai, yai, lai, 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 yai, lai, yai, lai, lai, lai. Yai, lai, lai, yai, lai, 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 yai, lai, yai, lai, lai, lai. Yai, lai, lai, yai, lai, 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 yai, lai, yai, lai, 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 yai, lai, 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 lai. Yai, lai, lai, yai, lai, 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 yai, lai, yai, lai, 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 yai, lai, yai, lai, lai, lai. Baruchu et Adonai Amorach. Baruchu et Adonai Hamevorach. Baruch Adonai Hamevorach le'olam va'ed. Baruch Adonai Hamevorach le'olam va'ed. Yai, lai, lai, yai, lai, 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 yai, lai, 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 lai. Yai, lai, lai, yai, lai, 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 yai, lai, 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 lai.
Our prayer for creation, Yotzer Or, on page 110.
Baruch atah Adonai Eloheinu melech haolam, yotzer or uvorei choshech, oseh shalom uvorei et hakol. Baruch atah Adonai Eloheinu melech haolam, yotzer or uvorei choshech, oseh shalom uvorei et hakol. Oseh shalom uvorei et hakol.
Together, the middle of page 112. How deeply you have loved us, Adonai, our God, gracing us with surpassing compassion on account of our forebears whose trust led you to teach them the laws of life. Be gracious to us, teaching us as well. O merciful one, have mercy on us by making us able to understand and discern, to heed, learn, and teach, and lovingly to observe, perform, and fulfill all that is in your Torah.
V'ha'er eineinu b'toratecha, v'dabek libeinu b'mitzvotecha. V'ha'er eineinu ליבנו במצוותיך והאר עינינו והאר עינינו והאר עינינו בתורתך ודבק ליבנו ודבק ליבנו ודבק ליבנו במצוותיך והאר עינינו בתורתך ודבק ליבנו במצוותיך והאר עינינו בתורתך ודבק ליבנו במצוותיך. שמע ישראל אדוני אלוהינו אדוני ברוך שם כבוד מלכותו לעולם ועד.
You may be seated.
ואהבת את אדוני אלוהיך בכל לבבך ובכל נפשך ובכל מאודך והיו הדברים האלה אשר אנוכי מצווך היום על לבבך ושיננתם לבניך ודיברת בם בשבתך בביתך ובלכתך בדרך ובשוכבך ובקומך וקשרתם לאות על ידיך והיו לטוטפות בין עיניך וכתבתם על מזוזות ביתך ובישעריך למען תזכרו ועשיתם את כל מצוותיי והייתם קדושים לאלוהיכם אני אדוני אלוהיכם אשר הוצאתי אתכם מארץ מצרים להיות לכם לאלוהים אני אדוני אלוהיכם.
Emet, that truth, that idea that there is a better world that's possible, a better place that together we can work to create. You know, we're approaching the Passover holiday. We're about 3 weeks out yet, and the idea that each of us is obligated not to tell about how our ancestors came out of Egypt, yes, that too, but to personally see ourselves as though we went out of Egypt. I'm just thinking about a reflection of these last several years of how many of us have experienced senses of being in service, of being in this narrow place, and that what our faith is telling us is that we can imagine what it's like to leave that narrowness and to go off into wider places. I called out to God in my distress, the psalmist tells us, and God answered b'merchav yah, with wideness, with expansiveness. And so here, as we think about this moment being described through our liturgy, this moment of Yetziat Mitzrayim, of going out for Egypt, for each of us to see this not only as a story of something that happened long ago, but of a recurrent theme, that each of us can experience redemption in our own lives, that each of us can hold on to that hope, that wide expanses are possible, and that we can leave the narrowness that we might feel in our lives. That, in a way, is a theme that's reflected here, just as these verses of praise, Tehilot, were sent out to the God Most High. Moses, Miriam, and all Israel declaring these words, these songs, with great joy. They said, Mi chamocha, page 122.
Mi chamocha v'elim Adonai, Mi chamocha nedar b'kodesh, Mi chamocha v'elim Adonai, Mi chamocha nedar b'kodesh, Norah Tehilot, oh safe and land, Norah Tehilot, oh safe and land. Mi chamocha v'elim Adonai, Mi chamocha nedar b'kodesh, Mi chamocha v'elim Adonai, Mi chamocha nedar b'kodesh, Norah Tehilot, oh safe and land, Norah Tehilot, oh safe and land. Yain and a night, 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 yain and a night,
We rise for Sur Yisrael, Rock of Israel, page 122.
Sur Yisrael, Kuma be'ezrat Yisrael, Uvdei Cherumecha, Yehuda ve'Yisrael. Go Aleinu, Adonai, Tzevaot Shemo, Kedosh Yisrael. Baruch atah Adonai, Gal Yisrael. Adonai, Sifatai Tiftach, Ufi Agid, Tehilatecha. Adonai, open up my lips, that my mouth may declare your praise. Baruch atah Adonai, Eloheinu, Elohei Avoteinu v'Imotenu, Elohei Abraham, Elohei Yitzchak, Elohei Yaakov, Elohei Sarah, Elohei Rivka, Elohei Rachel, Elohei Leah. Ha'el Hagadol, Hagibor v'Hanora, El Elyon, Gomel Chasadim Tovim, V'konei Hakol, וזוכר חסדי אבות ואימהות, ומביא גאולה לבני בניהם, למען שמו באהבה. מלך עוזר ומושיע ומגן, ברוך אתה אדוני, מגן אברהם בעזרת שרה. אתה גיבור לעולם אדוני, מחיי הכל אתה רב להושיע. משיב הרוח ומוריד הגשם, מכלכל חיים בחסד, מחיי הכל ברחמים רבים. סומך נופלים ורופא חולים, ומתיר אסורים, ומקיים אמונתו לשני עפר. מי כמוך בעל גבורות, ומידו מלך, מלך ממית ומחיה, ומצמיח ישועה. ונאמן אתה לחיות הכל, ברוך אתה אדוני, מחיי הכל. נקדש את שמך בעולם, כשם שמקדישים אותו בשמי מרום, ככתוב על יד נביאך, וקרא זה אל זה ואמר, קדוש, 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 אדוני צבאות, מלוך כל הארץ, כבודו. אדיר, אדירנו אדוני, אדוננו מאדיר שמך בכל הארץ, ברוך כבוד אדוני ממקומו. אחד הוא אלוהינו, הוא אבינו, הוא מלכנו, הוא מושיענו והוא ישמיענו, ברחמיו לעיני כל חי. אני אדוני אלוהיכם, ימלוך אדוני לעולם, אלוהיך ציון לדור ודור, הללויה. לדור ודור, לדור ודור, לדור ודור נגיד גוד לך. לדור ודור, לדור ודור, לדור ודור נגיד גוד לך. ולנצח נצחים קדושתך נקדיש, קדושתך נקדיש. ושבחך אלוהינו מפינו לא ימוש, לעולם לעולם ועד. ברוך אתה אדוני האל הקדוש.
We continue with our own private meditation and prayer through page 143 in the book, or however you choose. And you may be seated and continue with quiet meditation whenever you're ready. It's a great joy to be able to celebrate Shabbat together with the Torah scroll, and so we'll move into the Torah service, Seder Kriyat HaTorah. We rise, page 244 in our prayer books, as I'll have the Mesa family come forward to help us with taking the Torah out of the ark.
Ein kamocha ba'Elohim Adonai, ve'ein k'maasecha, malchutecha malchut kol olamim, u'memshaltecha b'chol dor v'ador. Adonai melech, Adonai melech, Adonai yimloch me'olam va'ed, Adonai oseh lo yitein, Adonai yivarech et amo v'shalom. Ki mitzion tetzei Torah, ki mitzion tetzei Torah, udvar Adonai Yerushalayim. Baruch shenatan Torah Torah, Baruch shenatan Torah Torah, L'amo Yisrael b'kedushato. Shema Yisrael, Adonai Eloheinu, Adonai Echad. Echad Eloheinu, Gadol Adonenu, Gadol Shemo. Gadlu Adonai Tiunaram Shemo Yachdav. Lecha Adonai Hagidula, V'hagivura, V'hatiferet, V'hanetzach, V'hahod. Ki hu b'shamayim u'ba'aretz, Ki hu b'shamayim u'ba'aretz, Lecha Adonai hamamlacha, V'hamid na'aseh lechol nirosh.
You may be seated. Today we're in Parshat Shmini. Shmini, despite meaning the eighth, is actually the third portion of the book of Vayikra. We're really delighted to be able to celebrate the anniversary of your bar mitzvah. Alon, I said it actually a few weeks earlier the last time. You should come back to have a blessing over Torah to show that these practices that we live by are ones that are meant to be carried forward with us for our life. And so you're demonstrating your continued commitment. So many of our students, we're very sad. We see that they have their bar bat mitzvah and they never return, and that's not going to be you. Clearly, you've come here to fulfill your obligation. And talking a little bit more about those spiritual practices, because your portion revolves a lot around them. We have in the earlier part, we're talking about Nadav and Abihu and the story of their tragic deaths for not following the instructions offered. And then we get to your section you're going to be reading from this morning in chapter 11 that talks about kashrut. That without even mentioning that word, actually, I should say, it doesn't specifically mention the word that we think of around dietary laws today, what is kosher and what's not kosher to eat. Rather, it's just what simply you may eat and what you may not eat. There's a lot to chew on here, I think, metaphorically and literally, right? There's a lot that provokes our consideration and our thinking, because our human minds are designed and shaped to look for patterns. We want to see the patterns behind these rules. We want to see the principles that inform these rules. We want to have a sense of cohesion, a sense of unity, because what we're trying to do with this grand book of laws is to create a sense of kedushah, a sense of holiness in our lives, a sense that we are fulfilling some sacred purpose that we have said in other places as Jews. We're not given permission to be mediocre. We have to be exceptional. And then we get into all the difficulties and the inconsistencies and the challenges and the exceptions, right? You may eat these that chew their cud and have split hooves, except for, and I'll give you the list of 4 animals that's there, right? We have the rock badger, the camel, the hare, and the pig. Right, exactly, the swine. Got a Talmidei Chacham here. We have a wise student in our crowd who remembers this. And yet, as we have these categories, they're not even consistent among themselves. So what is it that our ancestors are trying to do here? What is it that God is trying to inform us in terms of what is acceptable to eat? What is acceptable to bring literally into our bodies? You know, that old statement by Aristotle, let food be thy medicine, to make us healthy and whole and complete, and to get that sense of Kedusha. And I'd like to venture, as my own rabbinic hashkafa, my own rabbinic layering here, that deep in here is an acknowledgement that as much as we want to make sense out of the shape of reality, reality is always more complex. Reality always challenges our ability to create nice, clean categories. And so there's a better way of being. There's a way of being that allows us to be present, that allows us to, instead of trying to whitewash over these complexities, to acknowledge them, to see that the categories themselves are not consistent, and to be able to derive there that we too, in being present, can help to find those categories beyond. We are at our strongest when we are able to recognize the inconsistencies that we ourselves practice in our lives. When we're able to see how our behaviors are maybe leading us down the right path or the not right path, and to learn from that, and to change, and to grow. To be able to say that, you know what, this Shabbat, I didn't get it perfect. I've actually never gotten it perfect on Shabbat. But what I do have is another Shabbat to try. Another Shabbat to try to get to that wholeness and that unity and that sense of Kedusha. You have your whole life ahead of you to be able to do this, Ilan. You have your whole life ahead of you to be able to hone and refine, and just to remember here that reality is never as clear-cut as we think it is in our own minds. So open ourselves up to that complexity. Open ourselves up to acknowledging that in our world and see it as a source of beauty and something else that can help us to be whole with our world. Our text this morning is in the Eitz Chaim that I know many of us have in front of us. We're on page, it's on the sheet here, 642. See, I was right there, 642, Parshat Shmini. And we'll welcome our Torah reader and our honoree, Ta'amod, Miriam Bat Yitzchak v'Hodol Rishona. Blessings here. Daniel?
Yeah, he's fine.
He's going to gab on?
Yeah, he's just trying to find.
Probably.
You see that? Oh, you might want that.
Starting here. You starting with T? Okay, I got it.
Okay, well, could be higher.
Do we mark it?
It's marked on this column. We're just trying to find where he is. Can't.
T on the other 9.
Okay. Ben?
I said the lesson first.
That's not it, okay. Let's find another key, I don't
Here
know.
we go. There's a key, but it's not what's key on the Adonai, you said, right?
Yeah, and it's not that key on there yet.
Key, ani, Adonai.
Is that right? That's, is that the right one?
Yeah.
Okay, take your mouse.
Gonna do the bracha first.
Yep. Baruch hu et Adonai hamvarach.
Baruch Adonai habarach le'olam va'ed.
Baruch Adonai hamvarach le'olam va'ed. Baruch atah Adonai Eloheinu melech haolam. Asher bachar banu mikol ha'amim. V'natan lanu et Torato. Baruch atah Adonai noten ha'torah.
Amen.
Amen. Ki ani Adonai hamale etem me'eretz Mitzrayim le'yot lahem le'elohim v'tem kadoshim ki kadosh ani. Zot Torat habema ve'a'ov v'chol nefesh hachaya hamosedek b'im v'im u'chol nefesh hasharet al haaretz lehavdil bein hatameh uvein hatahor uvein hachaya hanachelet uvein hachaya asher lo teachel.
Baruch atah Adonai Eloheinu melech haolam. Asher nantan lanu Torat emet. V'chaye olam nata b'tochenu. Baruch atah Adonai noten ha'torah.
Okay, we'll go ahead and roll the Torah scroll up. You can cover it as we offer some additional blessings here. We want to keep the Torah close in order to appreciate its presence here as we offer a blessing to you, Melissa, and to your family here. In the name of our ancestors, Mishaberach Abraham, Yitzhak, Yaakov, Motinasari, Karachal, Leah. May the one who blessed Abraham, Isaac, and Jacob, Sarah, Rebecca, Rachel, and Leah, bless you, Miriam, Bat Yitzchak, V'chutol, and protect you from all manner of challenges, illness, obstacles, to give a sense of strength to you as you go forth to bring light and goodness to the world, that the hands you possess bring blessing not only to you and your family, but to all Israel. Ba'avor she'altar likvod makom likvod Torah likvod Shabbat HaKadosh Baruch Hu yishmareha v'yatzleha v'kol sar mitzukah mikol nega machla yishlach bracha v'hatzacha b'chol ma'aseh yadeha im kol Yisrael acheha v'nomar Amen.
Amen.
Shkoch. Tishrei kochech. Tishrei kochech. With our Torah still here in our presence, we offer an additional Misha Berach blessing, a blessing for healing. And we as a congregation have this practice as we take this moment of welcoming the names of all of those people that are being thought of for healing, people who are members of our congregation or family of those in our congregation, those who are in our community, perhaps even ourselves that are in need of healing. This Shabbat, we are thinking specifically of Yasmin Aftab, Carol DeVore, Roberta Feinstein, Linda Gale, David Gold, Davis Gloff, Zach Hines, Richard Hightow, Lindsay Katz, Samantha Katz, Sally Keaton, Joe Lewis, Pat Mack, Caleb Moses, Keenan Packman, Tony Ricolta, George Ricolta, Merrill Rosenberg, Rita Schiller, Nancy Siegel, Alan Simons, Marshall Stern, and Lloyd Suter. We add to those the names Carlos and Hannah and Susan. For Mark Mizrahi. For all those mentioned, the many more that go unmentioned, the people of Ukraine, of course, that continue to fight for their lives and all those suffering as a result of this conflict. We offer our prayer for healing, the Misha Berach, page 253 in our prayer books.
Le'i
We rise as the Torah is lifted and dressed. Yamod Hagba.
I'm doing it.
Oh, you're doing it? Okay.
Wait, actually, Alon, do you want to try? As on your anniversary, do you want to try lifting for the first time?
He's like, no.
It's okay.
I'm gonna pass on this one.
Okay.
Kinda lucky.
I was gonna open it.
You want it open?
Yeah.
All right, we're doing a full one. Watch the lights.
Is it too high? I'm not that tall, so
Well, you're right. There is that factor.
there's a factor there. This is a heavy one.
But it's evenly spaced now.
Oh, yeah,
We're in
sure, no
Leviticus.
problem.
This is good.
V'zot haTorah asher sam Moshe livnei b'nei Yisrael al pi Adonai b'yad Moshe.
Torah, 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 Tziva lanu Moshe, bum bum bum. Torah, 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 Tziva lanu Moshe. Hey, Torah, 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 Tziva lanu Moshe, bum bum bum. Torah, 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 Torah. Torah, Tziva lanu Moshe. Torah, 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 Torah,
I'll get lower.
Torah, Torah, Tziva lanu Moshe. Bum bum bum. Torah, 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 Tziva lanu Moshe. Torah, 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 Tziva lanu Moshe. Torah, 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 Tziva lanu Moshe. Pastor Lon. Hodo al eretz b'shamayim, v'yaren keren le'amo, tefila lechol chasidav, livnei Yisrael am kirovo. Hallelujah, hallelujah. Al shlosha devarim, al shlosha devarim, al shlosha devarim. Ha'olam, ha'olam omer. Al haTorah ve'al ha'avodah ve'al gemilut hasadim. Al haTorah ve'al ha'avodah ve'al gemilut hasadim. Eitz chayim hi lemachzikim ba v'tomchecha me'ushar derachecha darchei noam v'chol netivotecha shalom. Chashivenu Adonai elecha v'nashuva. Chadesh, Chadesh Yameinu, Chadesh Yameinu kekedem.
Page 282, Aleinu.
Aleinu
Shabeach ladon hakol, v'teiknu halel sebereshit, shelo asanu k'goyei haratzot, v'lo samanu k'mishpachot ha'adama, shelo sam chelkenu kahem, v'gor aleinu k'kol hamonam, v'anachnu korim, u'nishtahavim u'modim, lifnei melech malchei hamlachim, hakadosh baruch hu. Shemunotei shamayim ve'yosei haaretz, u'moshe mikaro v'shamayim b'mba'al, u'shchinatu zo, Yekov he meromin, hu Eloheinu Malkeinu efezulato, kakatu betorato, v'yadata hayom v'hasherota elevavecha, ki Adonai hu Elohim, al shamayim imao, ve'al haaretz mitachot enod. We continue together, page 287 at the top. May we gain wisdom in our lives, overflowing like a river with understanding. Loved each of us for the peace we bring to others. May our deeds exceed our speech, and may we never lift up our hand, but to conquer fear and doubt and despair. Rise up like the sun, O God, over all humanity. Cause light to go forth over all the lands between the seas, and light up the universe with the joy of wholeness, of freedom, and of peace. V'nema v'haya Adonai v'melech al kol haaretz v'yom hahu yeh Adonai echad u'shemo You may be seated. Our thoughts turn to all of those individuals who, through their lives, have blessed us with their presence, being with us to support us in moments of joy, moments of sorrow, and sadly are no longer with us in life. They are our precious remembrance. This Shabbat, we're in a period of Shiva for Nancy Siegel, our member and wife of our member, Alan Siegel. We are in a period of Shloshim, in the month following the passing of Peter Wolf, the father of our members, Sharon and Andy Spilkin, as well as their children, Julia and Bridget. We're in a period of Yartzeit, the anniversary of the following individuals' deaths occurring this week: Gloria Gitlin-Bear, Zelda Beam, Nancy Fisher, Lawrence Goldberg, Melvin Goldberg, Nathan Horowitz, Gerald Johnston, Eugene Kahn, Donald J. Katz, Sheldon Nachman, Alexander Nadelberg, Alan Powell, Walter Patrick, Julian Rosenfeld, Rose Smith, Esther Vielik, Daniel Keith Ward, and Irving Zeidman. There are others those with us this morning are thinking of for the Mourner's Kaddish. Please feel free to add their name. Then, according to the custom in our congregation, we rise as we share our blessings, that the memory of these individuals always be a source of comfort and goodness for all of us. Page 294, the Mourner's Kaddish. Yitkadal v'yitkadash shemei rabbah, be'alma divrach hirutei v'yamlich malchutei, b'chayechon u'v'yomechon u'chayei dechol beit Yisrael, ba'agala u'vizman kari v'imru amen. Yehei shmei rabba mevorach le'olam olamei amaya. Yitbarach v'yishtabach v'yitpa'ar v'yitromam v'yitnaseh v'yithadar v'yit'aleh v'yithalal shmei dekudesha barichu le'ela min kol birchata v'shirata tushbechata v'nechamata da'amiran be'alma v'imru amen. Yehei shlama rabba min shemaya v'chaim aleinu ve'al kol Yisrael v'imru amen. Oseh shalom b'imromav hu ya'aseh shalom aleinu ve'al kol Yisrael ve'al kol yoshvei tevel v'imru amen. Oseh shalom b'imromav hu ya'aseh shalom aleinu ve'al kol Yisrael ve'imru amen. You may be seated once again as we welcome our trustee, Arminid Albalak, to share with us announcements.
Shabbat Shalom, everybody. I'm
Shabbat
Arminid.
Shalom.
Thank you for joining us this morning here in the room and also online. A few announcements today. Sisterhood is having a pinch pot party tomorrow, March 27 at 1 p.m. in the social hall. Create and design your own piece of pottery. The cost is $18 for Sisterhood members, and you can RSVP to Debbie LaCour. Also save the date for Sisterhood Seder on Monday, April 4th. Check your weekly email for more details. Join Brotherhood on Saturday, April 2nd at 5:30 at the Library Pub for a group watching of the March Madness NCAA tournament. All men are welcome. RSVP to the office. Also coming soon, Brotherhood Poker Night number 2. Join Brotherhood on Wednesday, April 13th at 7 p.m. for a friendly game of Texas Hold'em with no buy-in. If you don't know how to play, we're happy to teach you. Snacks and drinks will be provided. RSVP to Daniel. On Wednesday, April 6th at 7 p.m., join Rabbi Gutmann for a third round of Torah on Tap. Must be 21 and up to attend. RSVP to the office. Join Janet and Rabbi Gutmann for our next Tat Shabbat. On Saturday, April 9th at 10 a.m., we'll have a Passover-themed Tat Shabbat. Please RSVP to the office. And save the date for the TKA Spring Blood Drive. This will take place on Monday, April 25th from 9 a.m. to 3 p.m. You can register at redcrossblood.org, and the sponsor code is TKA13. Register today and make a difference by giving blood. Once again, Shabbat Shalom to all.
Shabbat Shalom.
Say a few words, shkoach, to Alon for coming and reading from Torah, anniversary of his bar mitzvah. Shkoach to Gersh, who's sitting back at the streaming station, our stream team member, bringing the service to all of you, joining us on YouTube and on Facebook. Janet, beautiful service as always, and to everyone. Let's see here, our usher, who was also Armanit, those that helped make this morning's minyan so special, and our closing song, how good it is for us to be able to sit together. Hine Matov, page 340.
Hine Matov u'manayim, shevet achim gam yachad. Hine Matov u'manayim, shevet achim gam yachad. Hine Matov, shevet achim gam yachad.
Shabbat Shalom.